right, guys, for our next session, we're going to have Ildar Hafizov, Joe Rao, and Tamyra Mensah-Stock. I will let them know to jump on now, so we'll start in just a couple minutes. Behind. So if anyone has any questions for Ildar and Tamyra, looks like Bader does, we'll start off with Mark Bader then.
Sure. I'll start off with Tamyra,
Okay.
and could you just kindly flip your phone sideways?
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Oh, wait, my hand. Is it this way? And wait, am I backwards now? No. I'm sorry. Wait. Am I backwards?
You're upside down,
I don't know
Tamyra.
how that happened. You're upside down. I'm not sure how that happened. Usually it flips itself for you.
Okay, we're good. Okay.
Perfect. All right. I guess, Tamyra, it's a pretty simple question, but when you first remember watching the Olympics, wrestling specifically, and maybe it's the same time, maybe it's a different answer, when is the first time you wanted to be an Olympic champion?
My first year of wrestling, when I was 15. I knew I could do it.
All right. Do you remember was it men or women? Do you remember who you watched in the first Olympics you watched?
So funny thing about that, I think the first person I watched was Kelsey Campbell on TV. I didn't start until like I was in high school, so I'm a little late. But I think it was Kelsey. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I just got a text from Joe. He's going to be a little late. Let's go with Lara Lay. You're up next.
Hi, everybody. My name is Lara Lay. I'm with the women's wrestling brand Reaper Wrestling, and I have a question for Tamyra. Tamyra, you are going into Olympic team trials with a lot of momentum behind you. Not only will you be in the finals, but you're world champion. Recently, you won the domestic match that none of us knew we were actually going to get, but we did against Adeline Gray. You won the domestic match that I think many people have been highly anticipating for a long time against Boris Molinari. You won gold in France. You won the Captain's Cup, for goodness sakes. Just a lot of things. It's really, really exciting to see. How are you feeling going into the Olympic team trials finals?
Do you want my honest opinion or
Absolutely. Honest opinion? Yeah.
I'm not even thinking about that right now. I just moved Sunday night, and I am in an empty house right now, and I'm trying to unpack and clean this place up. So that's where my head's at right now. But one thing at a time. Once Olympic trials actually hits, I'll thank God that I'm out of this mess and ready to focus. But yeah, my weight's been good because I've been so stressed. I'm still eating, but gosh, so that's where my mindset's at right now. I'm not even thinking about it.
All right, and we have Joe Rao who's joined us. But first we'll go to Rachel. You're next, and then after that we'll go to Tim Hands.
Hi, my question is for Tamyra and Ildar. Your sport requires such intense focus over these couple of days of the trials to make the team. This year you're dealing with testing and masks and social distancing and trying to stay isolated from the public. How much does that complicate the ability to remain focused in these couple of days? And what can athletes do to try to shut those things out?
So for me, like I said, like what I told Laura, I haven't even been focused on that. But I think, in my personal opinion, I'm a little wonky when it comes to dealing with stress and all this COVID stuff. I say to those athletes, don't even focus on that. Just go out there and wrestle. Everybody's taken care of. Should have put myself on. do not disturb, but everything's being taken care of. Like our clubs, there's people bringing in messages saying, hey, make sure you take your COVID test, 72 hours, 48 hours, whatever the case may be. Like, if anything, my club, Titan Mercury, and the Olympic Training Center has been trying to alleviate as much stress as possible on this subject in particular. And they, like USA Wrestling is also like doing good by telling us, hey, you know, when it comes to tickets and your family being in pods, you have to be separated from them. The floor and the fans are completely separated. I'm like, all right, so it's gonna be a little different, but at the same time, we're here to compete. So don't let it get to you, because first and foremost, we're here to compete and we're here to win. So get all that out of the way. And if you're moving, worry about that. Worry about what's in front of you, because there's no need to stress about it. Like, I like to leave my stress in God's hands and just focus on like the first thing in front of me. So that's what I have to say. Dropping knowledge. No, I'm kidding. Okay.
Rachel, you wanted Ildar to answer that one as well, right? Okay, Ildar, go for it.
I think Tamyra covered everything. Like, she wrapped it up, everything. And for me as well, I'm not worried about COVID and stuff right now. We'll be there for competing, and our coaches take care of everything right now. So they'll keep telling us we'll do a COVID test and stuff. But when time comes to do that, we'll do that anyway. So no worry about it. Just go and compete. Same deal, same routine.
Thanks, Ildar. Tim Hands, you're up next, and Dennis, you can go after him.
Ildar, on a scale of, let's say, 1 to 10, let's make this a two-part if that's okay. On a scale from 1 to 10, how important was it for you to get over to the ranking series tournament and just to test your timing, even if it was against Europeans and not domestic competition? The other parts of that question would be, how was it recovering on the way home following a bad call to end your tournament for not getting the 4 points on that front headlock?
Oh, from the count from 1 to 10 is, I think it's 10, because I would need it. I didn't wrestle for 1 year, whole year, since March 13 last year. So I think I was needed for that competition, that kind of matches. And it don't matter, like, if they're bad calls, good calls, it's still my fault. I shouldn't give up any points anyways. So should win, like, with more points, more clearly. So I won't blame any coaches, any referees. The referees call every time bad, the good and bad, so you can play with that. So just do your job and wrestle harder. So, but I was needed that matches. That's why I like push it to go. So I think it was good competition anyways.
Did it feel nice to wrestle that well against 3 really good opponents too, especially the Kazakhstan guy at the end, Sarzambayev?
I think the better guy, Russian, was better guy than him. Yeah, it was different to feel like what we're doing in practice is different. When you go and compete, it's different mentally. You have to prepare mentally for every match. So I think it's better to go to compete before main competition, like before Olympic trials. I wanted to get it done because I will be sitting out and not wrestling for the mini tournament before that. So I was like thinking to go and compete in Italy, get that 3 matches, 3-4 matches if I could. So I get 3 matches, get good warmed up. So now ready to go.
All right, thanks, handsome.
And guys, I just want to point out real quick, Joe has a appointment coming up in a few minutes. So if we want to get some questions for him, just letting you guys know that. Okay, Dennis, you're up, and then Kyle Klingman, you're after him.
Yeah, my name is Dennis Freeman. This question is both for Tamyra and for Ildar. With extra time to prepare for the Olympic trials, did you have to worry, were you concerned about overtraining?
You go first, Ildar.
So overtraining is not my concern because I always work with my coaches, and I put that like thought on them. You know, they know on what level I am right now, and they will like decide better what kind of practices should I do today. So if they feel like I overtrain a little bit, they give me like rest days or off the mat days.
Tamyra?
That's the same for me too.
Okay.
Sorry, that's the exact same for me. Like right now, it's an off day, so I'm just worried about moving. So I don't even have to leave all that in my hands, whether or not I'm overtraining or not. They'll see based on my temperament, my body language, and they'll go like, "All right, you gotta get out of here. There's something like you're not peppy and happy like you usually are. So bye." So
Thank you.
I trust in my coaches. You're welcome.
Kyle Klingman.
Two parts for Joe Rao. Joe, you were a 2013 NCAA Division III champion for Elmhurst. Your team placed second to Wartburg. My first question is, does losing to Wartburg still haunt you? And number two is, how do you remain so darn funny and keep such an upbeat attitude?
Well, can you hear me? Sorry, today's been like Kuwait City, man. It's been crazy. I just, I don't know if you ever had anybody do a USADA test in the middle of an interview right before his appointment, but Wartburg haunting me. I guess a little bit. What haunts me is that like a small school like Elmhurst, who doesn't win it every year, like a Wartburg and Augsburg, almost, you know, won the national title, but we just couldn't do it. So that part haunts me. And maybe if I ever coach Elmhurst, which is a possibility soon, maybe I can get that title finally. So I'm not losing too much sleep about it yet because, you know, this wrestling life isn't over. So maybe our day will come. The second part was, how do I stay so damn funny? Well, you know what? So a lot of days these days, I don't feel very funny. You know, I feel a little bit too serious. So maybe I'm getting too old. But I don't know. I just try to get, you know, the most out of life. And I think if you could laugh about little things here and there, man, that's part of life. You should be trying, you know, to make the people in your life laugh and make yourself laugh, more importantly, you know. You try and make Timmy Hands laugh. You like that old Kuwait line, huh?
All right. We'll go with Laura Lay, and then Rachel, you can go after her. You're muted.
Hi, this is for Tamyra. So women's wrestling, we're gonna have all the 6 weight classes represented, not just in Tokyo, but at Olympic team trials. We're gonna see just the full range of competition at Olympic team trials. And not only that, each weight class is deep. And it's really a beautiful thing to see. And 68 included, there are just a lot of strong women that are coming. And I wanted to know your thoughts on the competition pool at 68.
My thought, like you said, Laura, there are a lot of wrestlers at 68. And I'm so excited to, first off, just watch the tournament. I'm so glad I don't have to do it, but I'm also a little bummed about it because I love wrestling. I've been trying to wrestle as much as possible since we've been able to. And I'm excited to see who's gonna come out on top and get to wrestle me. Like, there are a lot of different styles in 68, and I'm pumped. But I think I'm most pumped about is 50. I can't wait to see that weight class. I'm super duper pumped. Oof, that weight class, that just gets my heart going. that gets my mind going. I'm like, oh my gosh, who's gonna, like, how is this gonna work out? Like, I see this playing out so many different ways. So I'm super excited. I'm so excited that all the weight classes are qualified, because as you know, in 2016, cough, cough, my part, that was my fault. I did that. Didn't qualify weight class as well as another weight class. So I'm really proud that we did that first and foremost. And when it comes to who's gonna represent us, I don't know. I pray that I do, first of all. And yeah, I'm just excited overall.
And I just had a quick follow-up question. It's along some different lines, but going back to the Captain's Cup, I'm really hoping to get an answer from this, because we had the draft and that was really cool. And we had a couple of surprises. And one of those surprises was, your draft pick of Xochitl Motapedis. And I think it caught a lot of us off guard, because we didn't know that she was even in as a draftee. And then all of a sudden she's drafted by Tamyra Mensah-Stock. It's really cool because, Xochitl, she's a Texas wrestler, and she's an up and coming, competitor, and you yourself, you're a Texas wrestler. It was really exciting to see. I was really excited about that pick, but how did that happen?
Sorry, I had to mute myself. That's funny. So here's the thing. When she was at the lower weight class, I knew that I wanted diamond first and foremost. And when it came to everyone else, a lot of great wrestlers were going to get chosen as well. But I know that Sochi is a phenomenal wrestler. If you saw her at the US Open, come on, like, why wouldn't you choose her? And I was a little torn that she went up a weight class, but at the same time, I was like, you know what? Since so many of the other good wrestlers got chosen, why not choose this girl who is so spirited? Like, she just reminds me of me in my younger years, like not giving a flying flip who she's wrestling and just going out there gun-ho, ready, armed, and like about to just shoot it up. Like, see, like there's my Texan coming out. Oh, guns, blah, blah, blah. But I chose her because, first of all, I know how spirited she is. Second of all, my twin said that she knew her and that she's an awesome and phenomenal wrestler. Third of all, US Open, she's just been killing it. And also on like her other events, she's been killing it. What was it, fifth of all? She's from Texas. And yeah, like there were just so many things that was just like going for her. And then when I talked to Afsoon, my honorary coach, she was like, absolutely, yeah, go for her. I'm like, oh, perfect. We're on the same page. So that's why we got Motapedis.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, Rachel, you're up, and then we'll have Mike go.
Great. I have a couple questions for Joe. I wanted to ask you, Joe, how much have you competed in the past year? And when you look at the fact that some people have not competed at all or barely competed, while other people have competed a little more, what factor do you think that will play in the trials?
Yeah, I've competed quite a bit, and I really went and seek those competitions out. Like, I feel like I did everything like humanly possible to get the competitions, I self-funded a whole trip overseas, and I got 3 competitions out there. I jumped in an extra competition that I wasn't even planning on having. I did one of these events, and I wrestled nationals, even though I didn't really have to. And I think that it will affect a lot of people depending on what kind of person they are. For me, it's always been extremely important to just keep those competitive some people, they may have a different plan. They may have been hurt. They may have this, everybody's on a different plan. Every team has different, COVID protocols right now. But for me, if it was possible for me to compete, I need to compete as much as possible. So for me personally, I think it's going to pay dividends over in the trials. Like I have a tournament or something where I'm not like happy with where I'm at yet, and that's good. And I've gotten all those out of the way, and I've seen progress start to happen. So
I know exactly the adjustments I need to make, and it's going to make huge dividends for me. And I would say, generally, I would think the guys who haven't competed a lot are going to be a little bit rusty. Does that mean they're going to do bad? Not necessarily, but it's not what I would, where I would want to. And I know that not everybody can control that, but for me, I'm pretty confident it's going to pay dividends over at trials.
Okay, just going to change up our order here a little bit. Let's go with Robert, if you're ready, and then Tim Hands.
Hi, Robert Locke, Augustine Productions. I'm working on an Olympic wrestling documentary. Ildar, I just wanted to speak to you ask you about the differences between wrestling in Uzbekistan and wrestling here in the States. What's that been like for you?
Different between Uzbekistan and US, I think it's more style. Because in Uzbekistan we don't have folk style, and you guys wrestle all the way from age 3 and starting growing up wrestling all the time. So and it's easier to transfer from folk style to freestyle, and then whatever they're choosing, if they're choosing Greco. But in Uzbekistan we have only Greco and freestyle options. So this is most important difference between that.
And what about the training? What would be like some differences in the training methods that you did in Uzbekistan and what we're doing here? If there's any.
I think Asia specifically, more throwers. I think they get more technical in Greco. I'm talking about Greco right now. They're more technical in Greco. They can throw out of like different positions and stuff. And in the US, it's like stiff wrestling. You kind of like stuck, and they just don't want to throw, because they don't learn basics from the beginning.
Okay, thank you.
So.
Tim, I think you were motioning that you didn't have a question, correct? Okay, so we'll go with Mike Willis.
Hey, Ildar. I know, you won the essentially a visa lottery to come over here, and you weren't sure if you were ever going to have the opportunity to compete professionally again. And now, you're a 3-match series away from representing the U.S. at the Olympic Games. What does that mean to you?
That means a lot. And actually, I competed in 2008 at Beijing, not in London. So it's mean a lot. Represent the U.S. I think I deserve that. I wrestled 6 years for US now, and it's pretty like halfway what I did in Uzbekistan. So I want to raise the flag, like I want to do that really. Like they didn't give me opportunity to wrestle in London for Uzbekistan team. They pick another guy, but they didn't have rules like they do here. So you have to go and wrestle. They like coaches decide who will go, and they have like preference on the other guy. So, and just because I didn't have the opportunity to wrestle, I want to represent it here. And 2016, I came short and didn't won and didn't qualify as well. So JC qualified, and I think he deserved to compete. He competed, and now I qualified the way I will compete at trials, and I think everything will be good.
Okay, I don't have any more hand raises, but does anybody have any questions before we close out?
I have a follow-up for Ildar, if it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my question in terms of the differences between Uzbekistan and US, you've had a unique opportunity to wrestle for both countries. So can you just get into some of the kind of the inside view of the difference in like how you're treated in Uzbekistan when you're in public and how you're treating in America when you're in public, and just the differences with the wrestling communities?
Wrestling communities is, I think I treat it the same on the mat, but like as coaches, there's more freedom. In Uzbekistan, you can do a lot of things. Like you have to do whatever the coaches tell you to do. But here, if you if you can talk to coaches, and if you know your plan is better than theirs, you always can talk and share your thoughts about it, about your practice plans. You know, in Uzbekistan, you have to follow rules, and every single person have to follow rules. If you're not following, you're just gone. They just tell you to leave. You know, this is the most different part. Like, and I like more here than in Uzbekistan because it's easier to communicate with the coaches.
And also, I just want to say thank you for your service to our country, and wish you luck in the upcoming trials. Sure.
All right, last call for any questions. No? Okay, well, I want to thank you guys all for joining us today. Some of you stuck with us through every session, which we really appreciate. I want to thank Ildar, Tamyra, and Joe for coming on and giving us their time as well. So we'll see you guys in Texas, and good luck.